Hey, what's going on? In today's presentation, this is going to be a free case study breaking down how KG Auto added $16,000 a month of ceramic coating jobs to his business in less than 60 days. Now, there's a lot of videos out there where they say stuff like, oh, if you can't pay attention for the next 20, 30 minutes, that's the reason why you'll never be successful in business, stuff like that. And this is not going to be one of those videos. Obviously, you guys are free to do whatever you like. Myself, I tend to have a very short attention span when it comes to videos like these as well. But what I can promise you is that I really took a long time to load up this document with as much valuable insights as possible. So if you guys do stick around to the end of this video, I'm going to do my best to make it worth your time and make sure that you walk away with some actionable insights. Okay. Now, with that being said, like I said, this is going to be a step-by-step guide on exactly how Kurt from KG Auto, he's fully booked 3 to 4 weeks out with ceramic coating jobs, and he's taking home anywhere from an extra like $3,500 to $4,200 every single week in ceramic coating. So if you guys own a detailing business and you follow this formula, you will be able to create similar results for yourself as well. But first, obviously, let's just throw some proof below, because I've spoken with many detailers, and as I'm sure many detailers have already experienced, to be honest, there's just a bunch of very subpar marketing companies out there that promise a lot, but then they kind of deliver little to no results. Okay, so as you can see here, figure one, this is a screenshot of what Kurt's tracking sheet looks like. So you can see all of the jobs that we've booked since starting, around like March, beginning of March. So it's 29 jobs booked if you add it up in the past 40 days. He's fully booked 3 to 4 weeks out, and I'll leave his story somewhere down below this video as well. Or if you click on this Google document, you can click through and check out my interview with him as well. Okay. Figure two, this is going to be a screenshot of Matt's tracking sheet. So Matt, he owns a detailing business based out of Tampa. Just in the past week alone, he's booked 8 jobs in the past 7 days. And I think he's already got a job for next Monday as well. So if you want, you can check out his story here. Figure three, this is Joseph from Make My Auto Shine Detail, based in Pineville Shores, North Carolina. And he has a very interesting story. So he is based in a town where the population size was very, very small, around like 26,000. So we weren't quite sure how it's going to work out of the gate. But as you can see, we launched the campaign, and literally within 79 minutes, he was standing in a customer's driveway, giving them a quote, booked the job for $795. And in his first 3 days, he booked $2,000 of ceramic coatings. You can check out his story here. Figure four, this is my client Zeke, Lucid Reflections, based in Chicago. He's booked just over 3,335 in coating jobs in the last 7 days. Anthony's Mobile Detailing, Boise, Idaho. You can check out his story here. I think we did just over 20 jobs in the first 27 days. He landed a fleet contract. He upgraded to a brand new van as well. So you can check out his story here. This is my client Jacob, based out in near Detroit, so Novi, Michigan. He actually closed $8,050 in coating jobs. So he closed another 2 jobs right after I recorded this video. That was in the first 11 days. So you can check out his interview here. And then as you can see from the screenshot, this is Alex from Detail Boys AZ, booking 5 jobs per day, right? Now, who is this presentation for? So if you're looking to finally scale your detailing business to be consistently, keyword consistently, doing 10,000 a month, 20,000 a month, or even beyond, then you're going to want to stick around. This presentation is for you. If you've ever been in a situation kind of wondering why maybe like business has suddenly dried up, winter season has been really slow, and you're kind of tired of feast or famine cycles in your business, it's making it hard to not only one, like have consistent revenue in your business, but number 2, be able to have that peace of mind knowing that if you hire that employee, if you sign that shop lease, you're going to have consistent jobs coming in that can actually cover those costs and pay the bills. Then this is going to be for you. Okay. If you're tired of doing smaller detailing work, interior details, exterior details, disaster details, and you want to focus on higher paying ceramic, window tint, and PPF jobs, this is going to be for you. If you ever had to rely on dealership work to get by, getting squeezed by dealerships, kind of like my client Anthony was at the start, to do sort of like lower paying detail work where they really squeeze you on the margins, and you want some more retail customers of your own instead, this is going to be for you. If you're potentially looking for a marketing solution, but there's a lot of different marketing providers out there, you're not sure how to choose between all of them, you don't know which one's the right one, and obviously you don't want to make the wrong choice for your business, this is going to be for you. If you've ever been burned by a marketing agency, like a lot of my other clients that have charged you thousands, but they only delivered 1 job the whole month, or maybe not even one in some cases, this is going to be for you. If you ever tried marketing results that were, average at best, maybe you broke even, you didn't lose money, maybe you lost a little bit of money on spending money for gas, for fuel, etc. And it wasn't bad, but it wasn't great. And you're really looking for that home run that can potentially deliver outsized returns for your business, this is going to be for you. If you're tired of having gaps in your schedule just because someone canceled and now you have to go fishing, send out a bunch of texts, oh, this person just bid, okay, cool, now I'm good for this day, and just constantly fishing to fill those gaps in your week and hoping someone books you, and you would rather just be, 3 to 4 weeks fully booked out with ceramic coatings on your schedule instead, then this video is going to be for you. If you're tired of, constantly having to look at maybe you're checking the bank account often, instead of filling up the gas tank all the way, you're only putting in $20. Or if you're a mobile detailer, like worrying if a rough patch of weather is going to completely affect your whole schedule, ruin the business for that week, then this presentation is going to be for you. If you're not a frivolous spender, but you want to achieve, obviously some level of financial stability, and you just like having reassurance that the bills are paid, you don't have to worry about the mortgage, the car payment is taken care of, and that you can buy things for your family like healthy food, air purifiers, whatever it is, for your family without having to worry about it, without a second thought, and having that monkey on your back, this is going to be for you. And if you're tired of getting, 15 to 20 emails a day, phone calls and ads all day from marketers that are saying things like get 10 extra coatings a month, or we get you coating jobs, just pay us after you get the jobs, and you just want to know if, this is real and, if and how this can actually work for your business, then this presentation is going to be for you. Because here's the truth. You can actually add, $16,000 a month, just like Kurt, in coating jobs to your business in the next 60 days or less using very simple paid advertising methods. But the problem is most of the detailers that try this, either themselves or maybe they use a company, they're not going to be successful doing so because, number one, they're not getting the right type of people on the phone that can actually afford their services, right? Their marketing is attracting a ton of unqualified, broke leads, people that don't actually know what ceramic is, people that aren't really that serious, and they're not actually getting in front of the right type of person. And then number two, once they do get in front of that right type of person, they don't have a proven systematic process to turn that customer from a new lead into book job. They don't have a process to take that customer from click all the way to close. So the document is going to outline exactly how to solve both of these two issues and how Kurt from KG Auto, like I said, he added $16,000 a month to his detailing business in just 60 days. And in case you don't already know me, I'm Jason. I've been working with local businesses, doing marketing for the past 12 years now. And it kind of all started back in 2012. So we opened up our first brick and mortar family business. So it was a very small pediatric office in Hillsborough, New Jersey. My mom, she's a pediatrician. And, here's a screenshot of what our waiting room looks like, or at least how it used to look, just completely empty. And at the time when we first started, we were doing, anything and everything to jump up revenue, really hustling. So we asked friends, we asked family for business, I'll go to like the local Sunday school, where people where people are going for Chinese school, hand out our business cards at local restaurants and churches. And we also spent a lot of money on marketing that kind of led us nowhere with very little results. So we've definitely been, a little bit burned in the past ourselves as well. So needless to say, in the beginning, you don't really know what you're doing. You don't know how to market. You don't have that marketing solution. It's kind of a rough first few years. Being the tech savvy kid that I was, I kind of turned to the internet for answers. Through trial and error, one thing led to another. I kind of taught myself the skill of properly bringing in customers for our own business through digital marketing. So at first we did it just for ourselves, and to be honest, it went really well. Like we just opened our third location last summer in New Brunswick, and then I had some other friends ask us for help. Then other businesses started asking for help too. So I worked with property management companies, chiropractors, realtors, mortgage loan officers, all the craziest different types of clients. And I realized over this 12-year journey that after working with so many different types of clients, there's one specific group amongst all of my clients that they're just getting, outstanding results. Okay. And that particular group is specifically detailers that offer ceramic coating, TPF, window tint, wrap services, etc. As long as, again, we're getting, number one, the right type of customers on the phone. And number two, we have a proven sales process in place on the back end to convert those customers into book jobs. So since then, I've really just narrowed down my focus to only serving detailers, helping them grow their detailing business. And, this has been a lot of countless long nights that I've spent tweaking, I've spent testing, I've spent researching, and I finally developed a system that it consistently gets results no matter the market. It doesn't matter if you're in a small 26,000 town like Pine Mill Shores, or you're in a small, rural area like Lubbock, Texas, or you're in a major metropolitan area like San Diego, Tampa, Vegas, we also have worked Scottsdale, etc. It works no matter the market. So this kind of leads us here. I've decided to document Kurt's success with the system that we're using, and hopefully, if you follow these steps and implement it, you'll be able to add an extra 16,000 a month in codings to your business in 60 days as well. So the steps are, number one, craft your winning offer and also your price point ads, which I'll get into in a second. Number two, use educational video creatives. Okay. Number three, apply location-based income targeting. And then number four, improve your sales process. Okay. So the first one, craft your winning offer and your price point ads. So if you don't already know, the offer is going to be what you advertise in your marketing, right? Stuff like, Black Friday, get 50% off, or stuff like Domino's, delivered in 30 minutes or it's free, okay? It's going to be that reason, that sexy offer, the reason that customers have for clicking on your ad, aka what do they get in return? Why should they pay attention to the ad, your marketing? What, they're looking for a special deal, right? What special deal can you give them that really entices them to pay attention to you and choose to go with you over your competitors? Now, here's what most detailers are using as an offer in their marketing. And this is kind of where a lot of the issues start. So they're using things such as get $200 off your first ceramic coating with us, save 20% off on your next ceramic coating, click here and get a free quote. And the problem with this is when prospects, hear discounts, they hear free quotes, just think, what type of buyers might you be attracting, right? And, if you guessed it, it's going to be prospects that don't have money, penny pinchers that want to price shop you for the cheapest price. They're really going to squeeze you. And a lot of times it's people that, might even be just like a 22-year-old kid that's looking for like a $200 cheap coating, and it just doesn't make any sense at all. Like, you can't really build a business like this. So as a result, your marketing company, they're sending you a ton of leads, but you're not actually turning any of those leads into actual bookings. And that's what really matters, right? Your offer that you're using, free quotes, 20% off, $200 off, it's really decreasing the perceived value of your service. And you almost feel like a cheap service provider at that point. And you're just spending all day chasing down prospects that, they can't really afford your services. They're not even that serious / interested in the first place. They're kind of just shopping around, and maybe they didn't even realize that they clicked on an ad in the first place. They just see free quote and they just click through, right? And you kind of end up making little to no sales. So here's what you can try instead. So instead of offering discounts like above, try offering free bonuses. So I'll give you an example. Have you ever noticed that luxury brands or luxury watches, they don't really offer discounts on Black Friday, right? So on Black Friday, you're not going to see Rolexes for 50% off. And the reason for that is they know that if they offer a 50% off discount on their watches, it's going to decrease the perceived value of their product, the perceived value of their brand, and make them be seen as a cheap commodity. So what they typically do instead on Black Friday is, instead of offering discounts, they might throw in like a free bonus as part of the deal. So when you throw in a free bonus, people, they still feel like they're getting a great deal. It's going to help you get a lower cost per lead on the ads, more leads overall, more sales, but you don't have to slash your prices. You don't have to be seen as a cheap service provider by offering discounts, and you're going to attract a much better type of prospect. So instead of offering 20% off on your next ceramic coating, you can try something like this instead. So as an example, you can run like a $7.95 ceramic coating spring special for a limited time only. We're offering a premium 3-year coating starting at just $7.95. And if that's not crazy enough, the next 10 customers will also get a free paint polish included, $250 value, free windshield coating, free follow-up maintenance wash, and a free interior vacuum as well. So as you can see, this is a really slam dunk deal that's going to catch their attention, right? But by offering these free bonuses, we're not offering discounts. We're not reducing the base price of our actual ceramic coating. We're still collecting at least $800. And again, it doesn't have to be, this many free bonuses. This is just to demonstrate the concept. A lot of times you can just get away with offering just one or maybe even 2 free bonuses. It's going to be more than good enough. But the key here is we're not discounting the actual core service, which is the ceramic coating, right? So we're still collecting the full $800 price point, and we're not attracting those cheap customers as well, okay? Another key concept to apply as well, even more important than not offering discounts, is it's crucial to include the price point of your coating on the ad. So let's say, for instance, you have a 3-year coating package. It starts at somewhere around $800. And by explicitly stating on the ad, ceramic coating or 3-year coating starting at $795, you're going to turn away those cheap buyers that are looking for a really low quality, cheap $300 coating, right? So they're not going to click on the ad. They see the price, they can be turned away, and they don't waste your time. And then the buyers that do click on the $795 ad, they're at least qualified at that base price point. And then from there, you can kind of just charge them whatever you want. So for instance, it can say $70.95 on the ad, but then when you get on the phone, you start asking about their car, the condition of their paint, is it scratched up, do you see any swirl marks, etc. And then you realize, oh, this might actually take a little bit more correction than I initially thought. So you can explain to them, yeah, it sounds like your car is actually going to need an extra level of correction. So for that reason, it's going to be an extra, $100, so it'll be $900 instead. Or if they have an SUV, a truck, it's a bigger vehicle, you can let them know as well. Bigger vehicles, it takes more time, more materials, so we're gonna have to charge more as well, okay? Another thing you can do as well is upsell them. So you can also just book them in, just get them in person for that $795 price point. And then once you're in person, it's so much easier to upsell them, right? You can explain to them how if you go with the $1095 5-year coating, it's actually gonna save you money in the long run. It's gonna make more sense financially. You can upsell them to a 5-year, a 7-year coating that way. And you can even upsell them further on, extra levels of correction. You can upsell them on rims coating, interior details, window tint, maintenance wash, etc. Whatever you want to do to squeeze a little bit more cash out of that particular job. So as a result of using price point ads, so putting the actual price on the ad and not hiding it, and also not offering any cheap discounts in your marketing, what's going to happen is you're going to attract the best customers on the ads. The customers that you attract, they can actually afford your service and they're serious about getting their vehicle ceramic coated. And because they're already financially qualified, they already know the price. Sometimes, it can be as easy as just calling them and say, hey, when do you want to schedule? They're going to be significantly easier to close this way. And also when you're doing this and you're closing these jobs from the ads, a lot of times what can happen is you can predictably spend, let's say for instance, $50 in ads, and you can book an $800 coating job in return. And you can do this again and again and again and again. So just as an example with Kurt from KG Auto, I believe the cost per lead is somewhere around $11 right now, and he's closing 23.5% of all the leads. So let's just say 20% for easy math. That means he's spending $66 in ads to close either a 545 coating at the start, or what happens a lot of times is he upsells them to a 5-year coating as well for I think around like $800. So imagine you spend $66 and you get $800 back, and you do this every single day of the week, and you can just rinse and repeat. And that's kind of what we've been able to accomplish for Kurt. Okay, so that's step one. Now that you've kind of determined whatever price point you want to use in the ads, as well as the specific offer that you want to use, the next step is deciding on what type of ad you're going to run, right? So what a lot of detailers and other marketing companies do is they use, to be quite frank, a lot of these very boring and generic image ads. So a very common example is just going to be boom, picture of a car, and then it'll call out the area, car owners, and then some sort of offer at the top. So 50% off, okay? So this can definitely work and generate some results, but there's a few major issues with this. So number one is a lot of times people, they don't really know what a ceramic coating is or kind of how it works. So if you have a static image ad like this, it doesn't actually provide any real value or education to the person that sees this ad. It's just an ad for ceramic coating, but it doesn't actually explain the process. And then number two, it's static, right? It doesn't really pop. It doesn't catch people's attention. It's going to be hard to stand out. And as a result, number one, if someone clicks on this ad and they don't know what ceramic coating is, they submit their info, they don't even really know what they're signing up for. So when you get on the phone with them, they're kind of confused. They're not that serious. And sometimes when you use a colorful car like this, let's say like a really shiny blue car or like a green car, they might even think that this is an ad for vinyl wrap, not ceramic coating. So you're going to get on phones with people that are looking for wrap jobs when in reality, you don't do wraps, you do ceramic coatings, right? And it's just almost impossible to sell those kinds of people. Unless, of course, you're a shop and you do offer vinyl wrap services, okay? And then also because your image ad is very generic, it doesn't catch attention, you're going to be punished by the algorithm with a outrageously high cost per lead and less leads, due to the fact that it's very high cost per lead. it's gonna mean less bookings overall, and then you kind of end up just like barely breaking even on your marketing, right? So what you can try instead is, I really recommend trying out educational TikTok style video ads. This was working really well right now for Kurt. And these ads, they kind of just explain how the ceramic coating process works, what are the benefits of getting your vehicle coated, and they really show off that eye-catching, glossy finish, that showroom shine that a ceramic coating can offer. So here's an example below. Just keep in mind that, the actual quality of this video is much higher in terms of resolution. It's just reduced after you export it to GIF format. But again, it's calling out, hey, if you want a showroom shine, if you want to keep your car glossy and protected for years, here's how the ceramic coating process works. We polish your car to give it that, restore to that day one shine. Then we seal that look by applying our premium ceramic coating and also protect your car from XYZ and XYZ, right? So when people see this ad, they, number one, they actually understand what the coating process is, how it works. Number two, what are the actual benefits of a ceramic coating as opposed to, just a very generic image ad like this, okay? So when you use an educational video ad, kind of like this style, this is gonna result in, number one, customers who actually understand what a ceramic coating is and they're far more serious buyers. Number two, you're gonna get a significantly lower cost per lead because, again, this is gonna show off that showroom shine so much better than an image ad can. So you're gonna get 2 to 3x as many leads for the same price compared to running a generic image ad. And since you're getting more leads overall, and these leads, they're easier to close, you're just gonna end up booking way more jobs and your marketing is gonna be super profitable, okay? Now, once you have the offer and your video ads are ready, the next step is kind of figuring out who you want to target, right? Making sure you're targeting the right type of buyers because what most detailers and other marketing companies do is they kind of just target anyone and everyone within a broad radius. And the problem with this is, as it suggests, you're targeting everyone, right? So yes, you're getting in front of people that are financially qualified, but you're also kind of getting in front of people that are maybe not the most financially qualified, and you're just spending your marketing dollars on targeting everyone in this area. So you're not only wasting your budget by showing up in front of unqualified prospects, but then all these unqualified prospects, they're clicking on the ad, they're coming in through the funnel, they're submitting the information, you get on the phone with them and they just frankly don't have the budget to afford your services. So what you can try instead is, what I recommend is break down your service area, or if you own a shop, just break down the area around your shop by the household income. And there's multiple different ways to do this. For instance, you can use like the census data from the US 2020 census to sort of segment different areas by household income. Or you can obviously, go by the average home values in certain areas. If one neighborhood is very expensive and then another neighborhood is a little bit lower income, you kind of just make sure to exclude those lower income areas in your targeting. So I'll show you an example of how I did it for my client Jacob based out in Novi. And as you can see, we're really just trying to get in front of the highest quality prospects possible. So any area where the average household income is less than, I believe, we did 80,000 a year, it's just gonna be excluded from the targeting this campaign. Now, this comes with a caveat. So every market is different, right? If you notice that in your market, the people that don't have a lot of money, they still are very passionate about their vehicle, they love their vehicle, and they're more than willing to spend money on ceramic coating, then by all means, you can skip this step, just target everybody, right? But most markets, if you do take the time to do this additional step, you're gonna notice a significant increase in your lead quality by really just focusing on those middle class to upper end prospects. So what's gonna happen is your leads, they're way more financially qualified. You can have an easier time closing and booking jobs. And then since these prospects, they have more money in general, not only are they easier to close, but once they get in person, they're gonna be easier to upsell into bigger coding packages and or additional services as well. And as you can imagine, you're gonna make way more money, right? Now the last step is, you have the offer, you have the ads, you have the right targeting, you're getting on the phone with the right kinds of people finally. The last step is just to close them, right? So what are you actually gonna say to them on the phone to book them in? So this topic alone, in terms of sales and how to book coding jobs over the phone, this could be a really, really long topic, but just to make sure you're getting the most value in the shortest amount of time possible, I'm just gonna cover the 3 biggest takeaways and needle movers that you can implement right away to book more jobs, a high percentage of your leads into jobs. So the first thing is gonna be definitely stop giving prices and or booking jobs over text. Just really try to always push for a phone call, get your prospects on the phone and book them in that way. Second thing is obviously call each lead ASAP. So right when they come into the ad, don't wait, hit them while they're hot. And then number three, try not to just launch into a very pitch heavy sales presentation on the phones. Like instead of going into your pitch right away, I'd really recommend doing a discovery process first. So ask the customer, speak to them, how can I help you? What got you interested in ceramic coating? And try to figure out where they're at and what got them interested, what they're looking for. So that way when you do pitch, you can kind of tailor it to whatever the prospect is looking for, right? And it's going to help you not only close more jobs, but make it a much smoother sales process as well and not have so much friction. And if you follow these three principles, it's very likely that you will book more jobs. So if we dive into these topics one by one, the first one, stop giving prices over the phone. Because what most detailers do when they get a lead from paid advertising is, first off, there's a good percentage of detailers where they don't even call the leads. They just send a text, hey, saw you submitted the ad online, when you want to book. And when you do this, they're going to be, the prospects, they're way less likely to actually respond than if you just pick up the phone and call them right away. And then if they do respond, what's going to happen is they'll say, oh, how much is it? They're going to ask for the price over text. If you give that price over text, they're then going to take that price, and instead of booking with you, they're immediately going to go price shop down the street and see if they can find a guy who will do it for a cheaper price, right? And then, let's say they come back, they decide that for some reason they do actually like your price, they want to book with you, and you only book them through text, you don't actually speak to them first on the phone, there's a very high chance that they cancel or they no-show their booking, which obviously we don't want. So what you can do instead is I'd really recommend just once that lead opts in, just call the lead right away and always aim to give pricing and or book jobs over phone call. Or, you don't always have to give pricing over the phone. What you can do instead is if you prefer to do like a in-person inspection first, just book them in for inspection. So that way, hey, I can give you the most accurate quote that way to take a look at their vehicle, but really try to avoid giving price over text, okay? So as an example, the way I handle this, let's say a lead texts you, how much is this going to cost for my XYZ vehicle? There's some scratches on the hood, etc. And you will still get some of these questions every now and then, even if you do put the price point in the ad. You can just reply with something like this, when's a good time I can give you a quick ring to discuss? That way I can make sure I give you the most accurate quote possible, as well as answer any questions you may have about the coding process. So the way you're framing it is by them agreeing to a phone call, you're able to help them out the most by giving them an accurate quote and also answer their questions. So it's in their interest, it's in their benefit to actually do a phone call instead of just texting back and forth, okay? Then once you do that, just get them on the phone, take them through your sales process. Once you're convinced that, hey, they're sold, they're looking to book and they want to really get on the schedule, then I present the price and book them that way, okay? So when you do this, you're gonna close a way higher percentage of your leads, and by booking them over phone instead of text, you're gonna have a much lower cancellation or no-show rate as opposed to just booking by text, because they're actually speaking to you. Like there's that human connection built up. They hear your voice, they get to talk to you a little bit, as opposed to just a few text messages back and forth over a screen, okay? The second thing is gonna be calling each lead as soon as possible. And the reason for that is, what a lot of detailers do when they get a lead from paid advertising is they don't call leads necessarily right away. Some detailers do this. Some detailers are very good about this, but some detailers don't, right? What happens is they might wait an hour or two before calling the leads. They might even wait till the next day to call leads. And what happens when you do that is, let's say the prospect, they're interested in your ad, they click on your ad. What's gonna happen is, if they're clicking on your ad, they're probably interested in other people's ads as well. So if you wait the next day to call them, or if you even wait till later in that day, like the evening to call them, they might have already clicked someone else's ad. If that person was faster with the speed to lead, they might have already booked with someone else and paid a deposit as well. So you just lost that job, okay? The other thing too is, these people, they have very short attention span sometimes. If you call them the next day, 2 days later, they might even forget that they clicked on the ad. Whereas if you just call them in those first 60 seconds, those first 5 minutes, they'll be like, oh yeah, I just clicked on the ad. Right? They're gonna know what you're talking about. And the last thing is, obviously, the longer you wait to call them, the lower chance of them actually answering the phone and you being able to get in contact with that lead, qualify them and book them in. So if you check out this study here, this is the results of an MIT study on speed to lead. It's conducted over 3 years of data, multiple different industries, 50,000 unique leads. And as you can see, you guys can just read this for yourselves. Basically, if you just call those leads within the first 5 minutes it makes a huge difference. You're gonna like 2 to 3x the number of jobs that you book, okay? And you can also check out my interview with Kurt from KG Auto, where he explains, how speed to lead has made a huge difference in his number of jobs booked, as well as some other tactical things, how to stand out from the competition, how to upsell from a lower year coding into a higher year coding, et cetera, et cetera. Okay, so the last thing is, let's say if you follow principles, number 1, you don't give the price over text, and number 2, you call them right away, and then you do get on the phone with an interested prospect. Now the last part is you kind of need to know how to structure the conversation, what to say in order to actually take them from a complete stranger into a booked coding job. And what most detailers do is they kind of just launch straight into pitch. Yeah, hey, here's how the coding works. This is how it's applied. This is what the product is. This is what we're going to do to your car, etc. And sometimes they might even use like very technical jargon that the prospect doesn't really understand. The problem with that is obviously every customer is different. So one person might want ceramic coating in their car because of the gloss and that showroom shine, right? They want to make their neighbors jealous. But another customer, they might just want it because of the ease of maintenance, like it's just a lot easier to wash. And then another customer might want it because they want to keep their paint protected, right? And if you don't ask first and discover what their real reason is for getting coating, you can't really tailor your pitch to what they're looking for, right? If they're interested in the gloss and all you do is talk about how protected your car is going to be, right? How protected your car's paint is going to be. Or if they're interested in the protection, all you talk about is, oh, your car will be so easy to wash, right? It's just going to go in one ear, out the other. They're not going to be interested, and they're probably not going to book with you, okay? And the other thing too is when it comes to sales, it's going to be far more powerful for your prospects to kind of just talk themselves into why they need a coating as opposed to you trying to convince them. And I'll give you an example, right? Instead of you telling them, oh, this glossy shine, it's going to change your life by this, and it's going to do this for you. You can ask them how it's going to change your life, right? Why is having glossy shine important to you, right? Why is it important that your car looks new and fresh and clean? What difference does that really make in your life? And I guess what kind of got you interested in getting a coating done in the first place? And what's happening is they're going to tell you, and more importantly, they're going to tell themselves why they should get this ceramic coating done with you. And they'll kind of just talk themselves into it. You're going to book way more jobs. And then the last part of the process as well is really just try to keep the pitch short. A majority of the time, the customers, they don't want to hear like a super lengthy and technical jargon-filled pitch. Because what happens is if you give like a real long pitch, just like a long, boring presentation, if you ever had to sit through one of those in class, people, they're just going to zone out. They're not even going to listen to half of what you're saying, right? So I'll give you an example. Like if someone buys a first class plane ticket, they don't really care to hear about how the plane's combustion engine works. They don't care about the mechanics of aerodynamics. They don't care about how the plane's wings provide air or lift. They just simply care that their plane ride is really comfortable. They can fall asleep on the plane and, sleep the whole time, and it gets them to their destination fast. So in the same way, people don't really care too much about the nuances, the very, very nitty-gritty details of the ceramic coating process. They just care about the benefits, the shine, the protection, the ease of maintenance, etc. So you can give like a very, very short overview of how the process works, but you don't need to launch too much into detail, right? So, no pun intended. So here's an example pitch that I provide my clients that you can use as inspiration. So you can first, before you just straight hammer them with the pitch, first ask permission to pitch, right? So that's a little bit more of a smooth process. So you can ask them, okay, cool. So yeah, it sounds like you're pretty interested in the ceramic coating. Do you already know how the ceramic coating works, or do you want me to just quickly give you like a rundown of the process? Okay, yeah, sure. I can give you a quick rundown of how the coating process works, what it looks like, and then if you're interested, we can talk about potential next steps, but it's up to you. Does that sound good? Okay, great. So first, what we're going to do is we're going to thoroughly wash the outside of your car, remove any sort of dirt and grime, and then any contaminants that might be embedded in the paint already. So stuff like bird poop, bug residue, pollen, all the stuff like that. We're going to make sure to remove those. And then if needed, we're also going to correct your paint to smooth out any sort of scratches, minor imperfections, etc. So what that's going to do is it's going to restore that vehicle's exterior, your car's paint, to that day one showroom shine, and probably better than day one showroom. To be honest, we'll do our best to make your friends jealous. Okay, are you with me so far? So do a little temp check, and then after that, once we get that showroom shine, we're going to seal that flawless look and lock it in with our premium ceramic coating. So ceramic coating, it's kind of like a wax, but it's a wax on steroids. So it lasts way longer, and it's going to really protect against stuff like UV rays, bugs, bird poop, and more. And on top of that, it's going to make maintaining your car a lot easier as well, just because it's super hydrophobic. If you have pollen, dirt on your car's paint, nothing really sticks to ceramic. So you just give it like a quick hose, and even a dirty car, after a quick hose, it's going to look clean. And since it requires less maintenance, less waxing, less polishing, the ceramic coating is actually going to save you money over time as well. Does that make sense? Do you have any questions on that? Is that something that it sounds like is aligned with what you're looking for? And then if they say yes, then boom, just book them in like that. So to recap, when you fix these 3 things in your sales process, so number 1, stop giving prices and or booking jobs by text. Number 2, call each lead ASAP. Number 3, conduct a discovery process before doing the pitch and try to keep your pitch short and focus on the benefits. What's going to happen is you're going to dramatically increase your booking rates. You're going to book more jobs, and obviously you're going to make a lot more money in your business as a byproduct. So just to recap, all you can need to do is basically number 1, make sure you're using a winning offer. So no discounts, no more $200 off, just do free bonuses instead, and also price point ads. So include the price in the ad. Number 2, use educational video creatives. So really try to avoid those generic stock images, very boring static images that don't really provide any real educational value to the customer. Number 3, if this is relevant to your particular market, then you can use location-based income targeting and really just focus in on those higher end prospects. And then number 4, this is absolutely crucial, improve on your sales process. That way you're hitting at least like a 15% booking rate from all the leads that are coming through the funnel. But to be honest, if you're like super dialed in, you have really good speed to lead, follow process, you're good on the phones, this can be anywhere from 15% to as high as 33%, right? You can be booking 1 out of every 3 leads. And then if you follow these steps, you can add 16,000 a month in coding jobs to your business in 60 days or less, kind of just like KG Auto. And from here, there's just a few different ways that we can go, right? So obviously, number 1 is, there are a lot of people out there that they might just take this information and do nothing with it. That's totally fine with me. I hope I provided some entertainment at least. But the thing is, obviously, business is like a system. You can't really change the output of a business without first changing the inputs into your business. Meaning, if you don't take any action on this, you don't really implement these steps, what happens is your business will most likely kind of just remain where it currently is without really growing. And obviously, some people, they're perfectly fine with their current level of income. And if you're fine and you're happy with that, and that's something you're willing to settle for, then no worries, no pressure, right? That's great. You're crushing it. Keep doing what you're doing. But for a lot of people, maybe you included as well. I'm not sure, but you can be the the judge of that. You can ask yourself, are you willing to kind of settle for where your business is right now, or are you looking to maybe achieve something a little bit more with your business, right? So that's option 1. Option 2 is you can do it yourself. So you have all the knowledge now that you can implement your system to yourself. But obviously, if you try it yourself, doing so, it might take a long time, and it can be challenging too, just due to the fact that, a lot of detailers, most of them are not expert marketers, and you're likely not an expert marketer, at least just yet. So you'd have to really split test, research, tweak, and figure out what kind of offers, what price points work better in which markets. Should you run a $795? If you have a $795 3-year coding, should you run a $545 1-year coding, a $995 5-year coding? What sort of price point will work best in your particular market? And then you also have to figure out how to create, how to manage, how to scale these advertising campaigns, how to create high converting video ads, etc. And to be honest, it's a very complicated and long, headache-inducing process. I've already gone through all the headaches myself, so I know exactly how long of a process it can be. And number 2, on top of that, it might be difficult to find time to learn by yourself as well. You're still juggling the day-to-day of managing your business on top of all the other things that pop up in personal life too. And then number 3, let's say you do learn how to do it yourself. As a smart business owner, if you can outsource a certain process of your business, just like how you would hire an employee to help you out with details, if you can hire someone to help you out with this part of your process, and maybe they can do it even better because they're an expert, then maybe it might make sense, right? Just like how you wouldn't really suggest your own customers to paint correct their own cars. You instead recommend that they leave it to the experts, which in this case would be you, right? So that's option 2. And then obviously, Option three is you can do it with me, right? So if you do it with me, I already have the turnkey solution built out. It's exactly what I did for Kurt and all those other clients, Anthony, Zeke, Jacob, Matt, etc. And what's going to happen is you'll be able to achieve your goals much faster with greater certainty and a lot less hassle, okay? And again, this is going to be for detailers that are looking to add maybe an extra $16,000 a month to their business in the next 60 days, but they can't really figure out a way to consistently get new coding jobs and really book out their schedules, okay? So here's what's going to happen when you work with us. You'll be able to fully book out your schedule 3 to 4 weeks out, just like Kurt, just completely packed with ceramic coding jobs, right? No more going fishing just to fill a gap in the schedule. No more only being, 2-3 days, 1 week booked out, etc. And because you have that consistency, you'll be able to have that peace of mind, right? Being able to hire employees, being able to pay a monthly shop lease if you're looking to get a shop without any worry. Or if you already have a shop, you can afford that shop lease every month without, having to constantly check the bank accounts, right? You can forget about living tight, having that monkey in the shoulder, and always checking the bank accounts, worrying about the mortgage payment, worrying about the car payment, etc. And it's going to help you feel secure because of that peace of mind that extra financial security is going to afford you. So if you're wondering how it works, this is kind of the nuts and bolts. So before, if you want to find the best offers, the best price points for your market, you'd probably have to do extensive research and spend thousands of dollars and countless hours split testing to figure out what works in your market. But now, if you work with us, we already have the data on what are the best price points, the best offers to deploy in your market. That way, from day one, we can use a proven offer, a proven formula from the start to maximize your chance of success. Before, when you want to create educational video ads that perform really well, you'd have to first learn video editing and then probably learn copywriting, so how to develop like a really high-performing video script. And then you'd have to source and sort through hundreds, and I'm talking about hundreds of different clips to find the best performing ones that work in your market, okay? But now, I've already pulled countless all-nighters on your behalf. I'm talking like staying up until 5 a.m. There's certain client accounts where I've tested literally like 136 different ads in one account. And I've already done, all the all-nighters for you guys, right? So after sorting through and testing literally hundreds of different clips, I've identified the best performing ones that get the highest click-through rates, the best cost per lead, and also kind of an idea of what video scripts are going to perform and get us the best quality and also quantity of leads from day one, okay? Before, if you want to target based on household income, you probably have to look up the US Census data and find a way to match that census data to your area, do it zip code by zip code. And if you're a mobile detailer and your service area is huge, I'm talking like, 10, 20, 30 miles, that's a very long and arduous process. But now, I actually have a software tool that we can use for our clients to solve this issue. So basically, you can just let me know where your service area starts, how big the radius is, or how far of a driving distance you want to do. And then based on that, the software is automatically going to scrape a list of the zip codes in the area and then instantly match that to the median household income in that area. So we can just immediately go through, exclude all of these zip codes that are below a certain threshold, and we're just targeting the most financially qualified prospects in your area, okay? And then the last thing is, let's say you're not closing at least 15% on the phones. If you want to fix your sales process, you would likely have to do a good amount of trial and error on your own, maybe take a long time to learn. Or if you're looking to learn faster, you might have to hire a very expensive sales coach as well to train you. And not only that, it has to be a sales coach that has specific knowledge in the detailing space, which there's not too many of. But now, we actually do have a dedicated sales coach in-house for our clients whose expertise is specifically in how to convert online advertising leads into booked ceramic coding jobs. This is a sales coach who's built his own business doing exactly what we're describing here, running paid advertising and then booking those leads into ceramic coding jobs for as high as $1,500 or $2,000 or more per job. So if you have questions, if you're running into a specific issue in the sales process, you're getting a lot of objections, people that want to speak with their wife first, people that want to do the coding, but maybe they're waiting for their cards coming in 3 weeks, he can offer you guidance via live coaching sessions, or you can also utilize our mini sales course that we built out, covering all these different topics A to Z, just to make sure that you're booking at least 15%, you're closing the highest number of jobs possible, and also at the highest price point. Okay, just one thing to keep in mind, I do actually only work with one detailer per area. So Kurt, he's my guy in Orange County. I'm not gonna have anyone else competing with him. because if we start running 2 clients in the same area, what happens is the results, it just kind of tanks for everybody. So really, I just try to keep it to 1 detail per area. So if you are interested, you can just claim your area by clicking either here or maybe like somewhere below this video to schedule a call. Obviously, if you already scheduled a call, then I'm looking forward to basically, we'll just have like a very casual chat about your business. I'm happy to explain how the system works in detail. I can break down Kurt's case study further, and also just answer any sort of sales or marketing related questions that you may have. And of course, if you work with me, everything is going to be backed up with an ROI guarantee. Basically, if for some reason you guys aren't making money winning with the system, then I wouldn't want your money either. That's just typically the way things should work. It should be a win-win partnership. So again, if that's something that would potentially be of interest, you can just click here to schedule a call, and I look forward to speaking with you about your business. Okay. And then just some very quick FAQ. So a lot of questions that I do get is, will this work in my specific area, right? My specific area has XYZ feature, etc. And the answer to that is yes. So I've successfully executed this protocol in areas across the US, and this is areas from like major metropolitan areas such as like San Diego, Tampa, Las Vegas, Boston, Scottsdale, etc., all the way to smaller rural towns like Lubbock, Texas, Virginia Beach, Pine Knoll Shores, North Carolina, etc. Okay. Another question would be like, how long does it take to see results? So for this, every campaign is gonna be different. No 2 results will ever be the same. Obviously, as a professional, I would hate to overpromise and then underdeliver. However, based on our client averages, what typically happens is you're gonna get that first lead within the first 24 to 48 hours of going live. And then based on that, I'll be able to optimize the account, get the lead flow more consistent. And our client typically books, conservatively, their first job between days 2 and 4 of going live. Now, of course, there's some clients like Brandon in Austin who booked his 2 jobs the first 2 days, I think. There's clients like Joseph that booked his first job in 79 minutes, but that doesn't always happen. So I'd say typically, you can expect anywhere between first job between days 2 and day 4. Okay. Another question would be like, how much budget should I allocate towards advertising spend? And that kind of depends on how aggressively you want to grow your business, right? How many coding jobs can you actually handle? What I would recommend though, in my professional experience, is going to be $40 a day, because that way, that $40 a day, it's going to put you on track to probably get anywhere from like 12 to 15 leads conservatively that first week, and then depending on your close rate, of course, put you on track to land 12 to 20 coding jobs per month. Another question that I hear sometimes is like, what makes you different from other companies? So what happens a lot of times is, like I said before, early in the video, is that a lot of other companies focus on getting leads. So they'll just run like a free quote ad or 20% off, and they just try to get as many leads as possible, just so they can show you that, hey, something's happening. But the problem is, again, those leads, they're not serious buyers. They can't afford the service. So it doesn't really lead to anything. There's no book jobs coming in, right? So my focus is going to be on getting you booked jobs. So I do this by making sure the leads coming in, they're as financially qualified as possible. We're running price point ads. We're not running any sort of discounts. We're only targeting the most financially qualified zip codes in your area. And then B, on the back end, once we're getting the right types of people on the phone, I want to make sure that you guys have everything you need to succeed as well. So any sort of sales training, resources, accountability, if there's anything extra that I can do to support you guys, just let me know, and I'll either be able to find the solution on my own and provide it for you, or I'll find someone that does have the solution and I'll connect you guys as well. So whatever you guys need to make sure that you guys are succeeding on the back end as well, just let me know and I'll try to make it happen for us. And then another aspect that sets us apart too is just how closely I work with my clients. So there's a lot of details out there that maybe they have the experience of, they sign up with a marketing company and they kind of just get lost, right? Because that company has so many clients. They get the feeling of being forgotten or neglected. There's poor communication. Whereas what I really try to do with my clients is I try to let you guys know what I'm doing on the back end, right? So I'll try to update you as frequently as possible, check-ins, we can have calls whenever you need, and also just check in on you throughout the week to make sure that you're doing well. Like I'll say, hey Kurt, I saw we got a few leads into the funnel, ads have been crushing it these days. How are the bookings coming along? Did you follow up with this prospect? I see this person's on the fence. Is there anything else that I can do to support you in terms of the sales process? What objections are you getting in? We'll just kind of work on the process day by day, making sure that you guys are improving on the phones and doing well with the system, and also that we're within KPI of what we're trying to hit, okay? Another question would just be, do you market for other services as well? So besides just ceramic coating? So the answer to that is yes. We can get similar results for wraps, PPF, window tint, etc. But to be honest, my primary focus is coatings, just because it's that lowest hanging fruit. I would always recommend just starting with coatings, and then once we have a ceramic coating campaign performing, we can start adding on other services as well. Another question would be, what advertising platforms do you recommend? So typically, when it comes to ceramic coatings, you're going to want to focus on Facebook and Instagram, just because it's going to be the best to land those higher paying jobs, right? So when it comes to Google Ads, it can be great. There's definitely details that have had great success with Google and, stuff like SEO. But the problem with Google is that there's not enough search volume for stuff like ceramic coating, right? People aren't typically searching for ceramic coating. So what happens is you'll get jobs from Google, but they're mainly going to bring in smaller detailing jobs like interior details, exterior details, etc. Another problem with Google as well is it typically takes 1 month to ramp up before it kind of stabilizes. Whereas Facebook, Instagram, it's much easier to get those quick wins within the first week. So therefore, we always focus primarily on Facebook, Instagram for our clients. Okay. And then last question would just be, how do I get started? So if you haven't already, you can click the link here on this doc or somewhere below this video to schedule a call. And on that call, we'll basically just deep dive into your market, your pricing, what sort of offers I'd run in your market, what sort of price points, and I'll kind of just explain how our offer would work for your business specifically. And then if you do decide, hey, you like what you hear and you want to move forward, we can do an onboarding call. We'll just, again, go over logistics, lead handoff, best practices. We'll also do a little sales role play to make sure that you guys are performing at the level that you need to be at on the phones, and you guys are doing well on the back end. And then I can get the campaigns built out same day or next day, ready for you within 24 hours. And within the first 48 hours, you should already start having ceramic coating leads, interested prospects flowing into your business. So that's pretty much it. Thanks for sticking around to the end of this guide. I hope you guys found it valuable, and hope you have an amazing rest of your day. Peace.